Hello, welcome to the third part of the chapter, sentence analysis. We are going to today start with the predicate, and then we are going to go on to direct and indirect object, which are all found inside the predicate of a sentence. So let's straight jump into page number 20 where we find the predicate. So we're going to first underline the rules, and then we're going to look at a few examples to understand better. So immediately the first paragraph tells us there are two rules in this paragraph. The first rule will be that the predicate, just like the subject, may consist of just one word or a group of words. So this is your rule number one. Okay. Similarly, you have found this in the subject as well, where the subject can be one word or a group of words, and the group of words apart from the subject word, we call them the attributes. So in predicate also you have attributes which we know as direct object sometimes and indirect object, along with sometimes we find adverb, etc. So rule number 2 will be the second line, where it tells us that when the predicate has only one word, it will always be a verb. This is very important. Sometimes we see a sentence where we have just one word as the predicate. For example, I have already written down a sentence for you, which is birds fly. This is a complete sentence. Here if we have to divide this sentence into subject and predicate, what we will say is that we will simply divide it here. Birds fly, this is your subject and this is your predicate. So like the rule tells us, if there is only one word in the predicate, here we have only one word in the predicate, so this word will always be a verb. And as we all know, the word fly is a verb. If you look at your book, two examples have been given to show the same thing that I have just explained. One is horses gallop. So again you see there is just one word in the predicate, gallop, and that's why gallop is always going to be a verb, always. The second example given is the class starts at 9. Here we see in the predicate, which is italicized, there are three words, starts at 9. These three words form the predicate. So that means there are some attributes in the predicate, and the verb is going to be starts here, and at 9 are the attributes of the predicate. Come to the next paragraph. Rule number 3 tells us the verb in predicate, the verb may be qualified by an adverb or a group of words that do the work of an adverb. This is called an adverbial qualification. This is your rule number 3. So if you look at just the preceding example, the class starts at 9. So when we have a group of words in the predicate, so what does the rule tells us? That the verb starts is qualified by at 9. That is the phrase. So what will be this phrase called? This phrase will be called an adverbial qualification, because when does the class start? The verb is start. And what is qualifying the verb start? When does the class start? If we ask the question, we will get the answer. Starts at 9. So at 9 is qualifying the verb, and we have to look whether at 9 is acting as an adverb. If it is acting as an adverb, then we can either call it an adverb, which is qualifying a verb, or simply as an adverbial qualification, depending on the words used. There are 4 examples given here. Let us have a quick look at the examples. The children waited downstairs. So waited downstairs is the predicate in the sentence. Waited is your verb, and waited is qualified by the word downstairs. Who waited where? Waited downstairs. Second example, the children came home. So the predicate here is came home. Came is the verb and home is qualifying, acting as an adverb. So again we are going to call home as an adverb and came as the verb in the predicate. Third example is we work to earn. So as we have already studied infinitives, whenever a verb is preceded by to, it becomes a to infinitive. So here we see the same thing. We work to earn. In the third example, work to earn is your predicate, and to earn is qualifying the verb work. So in brackets it is written an infinitive as an adverb of purpose. So these adverb of place, adverb of purpose, these are just the types of adverbs used. They are being very specific here. The last example, the toys in the room were in all shapes and sizes. The predicate is were in all shapes and sizes. The verb is were, in all shapes and sizes is a prepositional phrase because in is used. Similarly, if you look at the example, the class starts at 9, at is also a preposition. So these two examples are doing the same work. In all shapes and size, the prepositional phrase doing the work of an adverb. Okay, anything that qualifies a verb can only be an adverb, just like anything that qualifies a noun can only be an adjective. So please remember the connection. Adjective, whatever is qualifying a noun is an adjective, whatever is qualifying a verb is an adverb. An adverb will never qualify a noun, neither can an adjective qualify a verb. This is very important. So this is about the predicate, and then we move to the exercise, which you will solve in your book first. Okay, then we are going to the second part, which is the direct object and indirect object.